everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. Today, we're going to be talking about professional confidence. How do you present yourself professionally on social media? And I have the lovely Kay Crawford to talk about this
Ooh,
topic. And hey, girl. So
hey.
I want to tell you guys why I wanted Kay to be the person I talk about confidence with. So it was at the height of COVID. I went to a banquet, and at the table, I was seated with her, and she also received an award that night. It may have been a Trailblazer Award. I don't remember which one, but I know you
Mhm.
got one, and she gave the best speech. And I swear, during COVID, that was definitely the motivation all of us needed. And she talked about doing the most. And all I could think about was how confident she was. I love the energy that she had. It was the best ever. And considering that I had not been around anyone in so long, it was a great experience for me. So just know you made me a fan that night.
Good, good. I love
And
it.
yes, so that's the direction I want to go today with us talking about confidence and how are you able to present yourself confidently on social media. And so, Kay, why don't you tell everyone a little about yourself?
So I'm Kay Crawford. I am a body contour specialist. Snatching those bodies and getting you right. I mean, you talk about it, men, women, it
Yes.
doesn't matter. Come through, see your girl all the time. That is the mantra. I'm all about you living your best life, right? I want you to love you. And that is the
Mm-hmm.
focus. And it's bringing sexy back, making sure people understand like this is your time. You keep giving everything away to the
Mm-hmm.
kids, to the husband, to the job, you name it. So I'm just here to just celebrate people and give them what they need to just look amazing and feel good. And that's the key. Because when you feel good, you can walk into the world with just a whole different vibe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I know when everything when things became more digital, it made
Mhm.
me a little nervous. I'm not really uncomfortable. I'm not someone who I feel lacks confidence, but I wasn't
Mhm.
confident on camera. So that took a lot of practice
Yeah, practice make
to
perfect
get
though,
it right.
It really does make perfect. If you can practice and just kind of get over yourself, it's helpful. And then you're beautiful and attractive and all those different things. So you have so much like going for you. You have no reason to just be hiding. Get on that camera, girl. Do your thing.
Right. And I had to learn how to get a little bit better with makeup, which is something that I wasn't a huge fan of. But
Hmm.
now it's like, okay, I'm old enough now. I went long enough without it. So now I can add it.
Right. Those YouTube tutorials definitely help. They will definitely help anybody.
I learned what contouring was.
That's my
All
favorite
right.
part, the
So,
contouring.
right. So today I want to dive into three main things that if someone is looking to be more confident on social media, I think that between you and I, we can definitely give them three really good solid tips that can help them moving forward tonight or even tomorrow that they'll be able to implement and actually feel much more comfortable with presenting themselves professionally online in whatever industry that they're in, regardless. And so I have three things. And so let's start from the end first. Let's talk about who it is that you want to be online or even in your career. Like, what do you want to put out there? So let's kind of reverse engineer this whole confidence thing. And we're going to start with let's determine your brand. What's your mission and what do you stand for? And so for you, like how did you go through that process for your business?
Well, it was hard because, I spent a lot of time trying to figure it out. I'm going to tell you, like, it's as a Gemini, I tell people I got a million different ideas. It's all in my head. And I literally was just like, okay, what is everything that I want to do? Like, what is the main thing that I want to do? And I realized that while I was doing body contouring and I was doing other things, I'm a teacher, right? That is what I have learned
Mhm.
about myself. And I felt like the doing part was making me go bananas,
Mm-hmm.
like cuckoo. It's like, oh, but you can do this, and oh, but I do that too, you know, like, and you can add on this. So that
Mm-hmm.
constant like layering all these different things, it really was driving me crazy. But when I really just sat back and said, you know what role do you want to play in people's lives? And I said, I want to be a teacher of wellness because we focus on sick health and the doctors and nurses can take care of you from the sick side. But wellness, they send you home to go figure that out and do, and then come back to them. So I was like, I want to
Mm-hmm.
teach people how to take care of their bodies so that it will last them longer and that it will make them feel good. And then the other thing was, I want to be a support for them. I don't want to be competing. I'm not trying to be exploiting. I don't want to do any of those things. So that was really how I came to a conclusion of what I wanted my brand to be. Like, what role did I want to
Mm-hmm.
play in people's lives? That is, what problems would I want to solve and how do I want to move? Because, girl, my board has said 101 things, and you know how it goes, right? You want to do this,
Oh
and
yeah.
oh, I can do this, and oh, I can do this, and oh, I can do this too. You be like all over the place. And sometimes people end up spending time where you got like 3 and 4 companies when you think about your actual idea, you know? So I had to
Mm-hmm.
get
This is
smart
true.
and just outline like, hey, who am I? And then how do I want to go about doing the work that I believe I'm supposed to do? And that is teacher and supporter. And then I was able to cut ties and make some real decisions about my brand.
Mm-hmm. I like how you broke it down. My process was similar. I really didn't think about the teacher part, but I think that's probably the same thing. For me, I started with purpose and what my intentions were.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that I wanted to help more Black businesses succeed. And I knew that the digital marketing part was something that a lot of people would overlook. And so, kind of like you, deciding where you wanted to be, who you want to be, and your intention. So, yeah, I took that approach, and it always, it's almost like it centers me. So it always brings me back to my purpose. So, because like you're saying, there's so many things, there's so many moving parts, and you're like, I can do this, I can do that. And everything seems like a good idea, but you always have to go back to your actual purpose and
That's
your
true.
mission and your intention. Yeah. So that's what I feel will always keep us, centered because, girl, yeah. I can think about I've had a million ideas and I swear I want to jump on all of them, but there's really no reason because it's not going to get me closer to the long-term goal that I've set for myself. It's just a short-term way of, I guess you could say, making money, but nonetheless is not for the long term.
So true. So true. I'm telling you, yeah, it's been a lot. But I feel like I finally got it. Like, I feel like, when I finally decided, it's like make a decision. Because, during that time, everybody and their mother, not only do you have your own mind, right? But everybody and their mother has an opinion about what you should be doing. And every time you go on social
Mhm.
media, there's somebody selling you some concept. Oh, you need to be doing this. Oh, you need to be doing this. And you need to add this on. And you will drive yourself cuckoo bananas crazy trying to chase behind
Yes.
every brand new idea, concept, opportunity that will align with your brand to quote unquote make you more competitive or make people want to buy your product. I was like, no, girl, if I could get my money back, if I could just get my money back for some of the time, that I put into
Right.
these things, that would be amazing.
Right. Can
Seriously.
we talk about breaking even here?
I was like, okay. But I'm gonna tell you, Summer, really and truly, the more money you have, the harder it is for you to be concise and clear about what you want to do. Because you'll just be throwing money at all these different ideas, these concepts, and you're like, oh, oh, this is the cost. This is the cost. But when you actually give yourself a tighter budget and be
Mhm.
serious, this is all I'm going to spend, and this is all I'm going to do, and I'm going to work this, I just feel like you come out way better, with being decisive about your actions and what you put out there, because the money isn't unlimited. And even if you spend a bunch of money, it still isn't unlimited. But you will go through some cash if you start working on your brand and you have credit cards and, money available to you for you to experiment the research project, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yes. Yeah. No, I think that's a great point because quite often, once you start working in your business, sometimes you may realize you don't actually have the heart for it. And now you spend all this money based on your business or your title being one type of thing, or your business going in one direction, when actually you still like the industry, you just would like to have a different focus with it. And sometimes, you have to kind of start doing the work so that way you can feel where your heart is, and then you know that you're always able to do the work. Because that's a really hard one. Because one thing for me, I would say was that I'm always looking for, and I will spend money on, and that's software. I'm always looking for something new, something unique. However, everything doesn't satisfy what my needs are, but some of them are so cool, I just go ahead and try it anyway. But I'm always looking for something new like that. And, when it comes to creating systems and funnels and all these different things, I will put money towards it. But I will say that I'm thankful to know that I did the hard work. I did it the hard way. And now when I actually hire someone else to help me with something, then I know exactly what direction I need to go with it, as opposed to just assuming that it may be, another way. So yeah, we are on the same page with that. Because I know a lot of people will definitely spend so much money up front. And something just crossed my mind, and I see this a lot lately. Tell me what your thoughts are. I see a lot about um, lists, people paying money, lists for grants. And I would love to get one, and it is my intention to apply for one. But would you tell someone to hold up and wait from starting their business to see if they would get a grant?
Oh, no. Never. I would never. I mean, because listen, there's tons of ways that you can get scrappy about putting your business together. You have to have more than one income means to start your business, because you just can't rely on one source. And you can get a grant and something could happen, and next thing you know, it's like it wasn't enough or you didn't qualify for it. I would never put all my eggs in the basket on one income source. I don't even count my paycheck until it's in the bank. I know it's coming. Even when they say processing, it still ain't there yet. You know what I mean? So I'm
Right.
really big on just like, no, get your, you can do whatever you want. I literally, I don't know if we were Facebook friends at the time, but when I was working on a business project, I had posted on Facebook, as well as sent my friends a text message, and was like, listen, I am trying to really work this business and make some things happen. I would truly appreciate if you could sow a seed into my business and help me really make this work. I think I had like 3,000 and some more dollars from just that. And I said, sow a seed of $1. Let me tell y'all something about $1. $1.
That is awesome.
$1 costs people nothing. Like, people will give you $1 and sleep. You got a child somewhere with a piggy bank that give you $1 right now. You know what I'm saying? So $1, there is no major cost to giving someone $1. Whereas when you start asking for hundreds and 200s, three, like that adds up. But if you think about it, most of us have 3, 4, 5,000 Facebook friends. We got all these other friends. Like, if every last person that was a Facebook friend gave you $1 and you had 3,000, that's $3,000. If you have 4, that's 4. If you got 5, it's 5. So I say that to say, like, you can be very scrappy and creative with getting your concept off the ground. And I'm going to tell you, I had some people that literally just sent me $1. Kudos, love you for that. But more importantly, what ended up happening was most people sent me way more than what I asked for. People was getting creative, like, oh, I'm gonna give you 1 and 1. That was $11. Oh, I'm gonna give you 1 + 1. That's 2. Oh, I'm going 10x that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm a 50x that. Like, it was according to how how comfortable they were, or how much they found it amusing, I think, because they would put little comments like, here's 1 + 1 is 11. I'm gonna give you $1 for every year of your life. Like, I'm like, okay, well, I need to get old because I'm gonna need some real cash, you know. But my point was, someone might say, well, I don't want people to think that I don't have it, or I need it, or I'm desperate, or, you know, I don't want them to think they're making or breaking my business. Listen, pumpkin and sir, if you want your business to be successful, you have to get over yourself. Like, you really have to get over yourself and be creative about how you can fund your dream. You don't let your dream stop you just because you feel like it's going to make you look stupid. Because guess what? Most entrepreneurs out here cold calling, asking, putting flyers on people's cars, like, they doing everything that they could possibly do to get in front of people.
There's a hustle.
And to fund what they need to get funded. And like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I had like 3,000 and some more dollars just asking everyone to give me $1.
That is awesome.
$1.
That is awesome. Like, I love that. I love it. And you know what? That also speaks to your level of confidence too. So, see, I knew you were a good one for this.
Listen, because if they ain't send me no money, I'll be like, so you don't like me like that? Just joking. I never called nobody out. I never called anybody out. You know, they could sow whatever they wanted, and I really appreciated it. So,
yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. It really that kind of sends me down a whole nother track that I would love to dive into, and that probably would take way too long. But I will say, I guess I'm curious to know the outcome of it. Were you able to reach your short-term goals that you had established for yourself after receiving the funding?
So I was. What it did was allow me to do some enhancing. My biggest thing was I had money for most of my products and everything that I was trying to do, but I wanted to be able to have a platform where I can advance some things like technology and you know, some branding, some customized branding, not just, you know, generic, but something that had our logos on blazers and all sorts of things. So yeah, it really did. It helped me because I did not have to go and put it on credit. I didn't have to do any kind of credit cards. I didn't have to do anything that was going to create debt, because I don't believe, you know, some people believe in debt, but when you side hustling it and you trying to make it a legit business, I'm not going to go in debt. It's not until my business is a legit, like, on its own, can make its money, do its thing, will I start financing. Some people might think differently, but that's just where I'm at, because I feel like I don't want to owe anybody anything, but I will gamble on the smaller scale it up, perfect my craft, do what I need to do to make it happen. And then once I start seeing like, hey, this is something that is livable, breathable, full-time, can maintain you, then I will start getting some of the debt and bringing employees on and et cetera. But until I got to that part, I was really trying to be scrappy about the situation. It worked out really, really good. And it was tax-free, so I'm just saying.
Gotcha.
I think I lost you for 5 seconds. Yeah, but it was tax-free. You can't be tax-free. You can't get much of nothing in this world without paying tax, you know. Yeah, Cash App.
No, I think that's
the only thing I didn't do. I took all the money out with the 3 days. I didn't pay any fees for the money. So just be careful when you do Cash App. It will cut into your money if you do this little idea.
You know what? Just thought about it. Now it's reported over $600. So
yeah, but reported. You know, at the same rate, you can get around that if you just have someone says gift to you. I don't know if you're supposed to be saying this, but if you just say gift, because it was a gift, It wasn't for business. It was a
I mean,
gift
it
to
is a
me for my
gift.
business. So each person is able to give you up to $15,000 per person for a gift. So technically, as long as they would have wrote gift in that memo, you be good.
Mhm.
You can
But
collect
that's a gift, guys.
$15,000
If
from a
you decide
person.
to do this,
Yeah,
yeah, make
you
sure
can
they do
put
it as
gift in the
a
memo.
gift.
That's all you gotta do.
So, when you were talking about, bootstrapping it and not spending as much money, I actually do agree because for myself, when I started, it was a side hustle, had a full-time
Mhm.
job, and it just so happened that people saw what I was doing for a living, and then they were asking me, "Well, can you do this? Can you do that?" And so my answer was yes. So then that's how I kind of evolved into doing more things.
Okay.
And honestly, for me, I was able to use the money I was making to actually pay for the things that I needed. So I was fortunate in that situation, but now,
Mhm.
I've been able to grow. So if it's possible that you can fund your business that way, then I would highly recommend it. But if you have a product that you need to get created and developed and all these things, then that's a different story. You would have a
Mhm.
different process. I would definitely run for any grant application I could get my hands on, but I still wouldn't let that hold me back from getting started.
Yeah, I
Because the
wouldn't.
getting started part is where your confidence comes from. That is where it comes from. It's the doing. And that's what I've learned. It's the doing that actually gives you the confidence. And so, okay. So we talked about determining basically who you are, what your brand is, what your mission is, your goals. So once you set your goals for yourself, that is where your confidence kind of start to peak in different areas. And number two, I would say, think about what your past accomplishments are and some of the things that you have done that you are proud of. And so when you think about your accomplishments, things that you were proud of, and maybe you didn't get an award for it, but it's something that you know for your life that may have changed, then if you focus on those things, it's going to help to build confidence in many areas. So, okay, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you gotta listen, you gotta make a name for yourself. You gotta get out there and really show people who you are, what you're able to give in results. So I'm all on board. Like I think that's what you gotta do. If you say that you want business, no, but a lot, and not everybody that's in business really just are gonna put the work in.
Mhm.
I believe now I'm not big on too much accolades or whatever. I believe the proof is in your performance though. And so if someone does demonstrate like, oh, this person is great, they know what they're doing, you want to highlight that because that means someone else is speaking on your behalf.
Mhm.
And it's nothing better than someone else speaking on your behalf because you're going to toot your horn all day. It's what other people think about you. You know what I'm saying? It's like the
Mhm.
Google review. They want to know, who are you? Which is why
Mhm.
people will read Amazon reviews before they will even purchase a product because they're like, oh no, 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 no. I need to see what this product is about, what this vacation spot is about. That's what you have for yourself to be able to show people some social proof. So yeah, I agree with you on that, Simon.
Hmm. Yeah, social proof. And one of the things that I've been telling people more often lately is that if you're in a position where you are actually able to either learn something or showcase your strengths, then
Mhm.
go for it, regardless of your job title, regardless of your role within the company. Opportunity shows itself. Go ahead and take it. And I say that because I was one of those people that the things that I ended up enjoying the most with my last job were things that I actually created myself. I felt there was a need for it. I felt it solved the problem. So I did it. I didn't have anyone ask me for it. I didn't ask for any help. I just went out and did it. But now I'm actually doing that for myself. So if you're in a position where you can make it happen, I say go for it. And Kay, I already know you're like that.
Listen, I go for everything. I'm not even gonna lie. There's things that I'll be like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but let me just check and see. Let's see how this works. But it nothing. I'm trying to get this light over here. Sorry, guys. There's nothing that can stop you if you are just smart and just position yourself. It's your network is your network. And sometimes we think asking for help though is going to be a problem. But I think that you can actually really leverage yourself in a variety of ways if you do ask for help and position yourself in a place where opportunity kind of meets itself. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I believe positioning is key. It is definitely key because otherwise you're going to work really hard to be in a space that if that you could have put yourself in by using the knowledge that you have. And you know what's another thing I've noticed that this has to be something that kills confidence. If you don't know people who would also refer you for whatever it is you're working on or what you have, then you really need to work on some things. If people that you know won't refer you, then I can understand that maybe your business isn't at a certain level yet, but at a certain point, people you know should start referring you for things. And I know that sometimes it's just confidence that people may be lacking, but you really need to look within and then start making improvements. So that's not something negative overall, because we all have areas we have to improve in that we're constantly trying to get better at. Even as a business owner, there's always something that shows up. It's like, good Lord, not today. Something else you have to tackle. And I swear, there's many fires all over the place. But the goal is just to be better overall. And when you build your confidence, those type of things, just you can skate over them. You know, you tackle it, but it's not going to damper your whole day.
True. Very much true. You got to make the best of things. You know,
You do.
you
And
really
so,
got to make the best of things.
yeah. So when we talk about the accomplishments, all right. So we talk about building, thinking about what your brand is, then going from the brand, and think about your accomplishments, and that way can make you feel good about yourself. But then after that, you need to decide who you're speaking to, who your audience is, and that's how you're going to create content geared towards your actual audience. So when you're creating content, because I know that you have you're doing the dating show, talking about dating.
So no, I'm not talking about that no more. Let me tell you, that's crazy because this is the proof of concept. Because in my head, it was the best idea since hotcakes, and it really was, but it wasn't at the same time. Which my points that I'm about to make is you have to test some of your concepts to see if they actually are going to work. They could be great ideas. They could be a lot of different things, and it could be nice if, but that don't always work. Okay. And so the On the Market Live, it was so great. But the problem was I could not find men who were willing to put themselves out there. They were like, oh, I don't want to look like I'm thirsty. I don't want to look like I'm desperate. I'm like, are you for real? Like, are you for real? And what I learned was great concepts. And we do see a lot of those shows with pretty much like drama and thirsty people. And, you know, it'd be extra. But for people who really are looking for someone, they are a little bit more discreet about how they play, particularly at this age. And so that was something I like, what you mean? Because you want a woman, don't you? You know,
Right.
in my head, you go get what you want. But I learned that the more successful these people are, the older they are a little bit discreet about how they move in their circles. And so that didn't pop in my head. It was like, you want to go so I'm gonna say that project, it really opened my eyes because, you know, dating, being a person who's single and dating and looking for someone else, I was like, you know what? I don't necessarily know if even I will go on somebody's, you know, session and do it. So then we moved to more relationships, and I thought that was great too. But what I found was my conversation, I wanted to have more about your wellness behind relationships. I was like, I saw myself moving into that like man against woman, you know. I'm not looking for us to be, you know, fighting each other or what's wrong with this, what's wrong with that. I'm like, listen, everything is trash. The men are trash, the women are trash, the teachers are trash, the schools are trash, you know, the houses is trash, the cars are trash, you know, the kids are trash, these jobs are trash. Like, I did not want to go down that avenue because I realized The only thing that's not trash is the dogs, and that's because we can control them. They're gonna love us
Right.
unconditionally, and we can do whatever we want while we with them. I mean, come on now, you know?
Right. I bet you would have found the audience, just not the one you was looking for.
Exactly. So I was like, I don't want to. I twisted, shift gears, and thought, okay, well, we'll start talking about relationships openly. But then I kept hearing this blame game, and then that was kind of still in my energy too, because I'm like, nah, we both have issues, and we need to
Mhm.
reconcile those issues so that we can have successful relationships. So let's talk about how we can work together. There is not really a market for how we can work together. You know what I'm saying?
No, nobody cares
So
about that.
they at therapy if they doing that. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
that's off the table, girl. What else was there? What you gonna ask me about? Because that's done. That's done. But I wanted to give them an example. I think that was the perfect example of
I think it
a
was too.
concept, a great idea. You got all the technology, you get all the marketing you could do behind it, but the execution for pulling it off was going to be challenging because you still have the resource of people that you need. When you do a show, you need people. If you can't have people, then you kind of like dead. So
Mhm.
that's what it was.
Okay, so yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that is the complete truth. It's
Mhm.
like sometimes you have to test out your idea and see exactly is it even worth it? Because sometimes it would just cost you way too much money to even make it something that's viable or you
Mhm.
at the level that you initially started out as. Because either you going big or not at all. Sometimes depending
Exactly.
on the actual project.
And what would it have been like if I would have used somebody else's money? That part.
Yes,
To
that
test
part
out
right
this whole
there.
concept. What would it have been if I would have used somebody else's money instead of my own to test it out? They would have been looking for it to be successful, not knowing
Mhm.
that with major companies all the time, not every idea is
Some
successful. It's
ideas
so many
fail.
things that flop. So,
Mhm. Like, you know who I love based on the projects that she picked? One, okay, first of all, I love Candy. Candy Burris. Candy
mhm,
does, to me, she can do no wrong with any of her businesses because it's all candy. And I love how she executes everything. And
mhm,
the other person is Beyonce. Beyonce
mhm.
has ideas that don't necessarily work, but it just dies and then boom, she's out here with another one. And I actually love that because she's not afraid to fail, and it's a big public fail because we all aware, but
Mhm.
I don't really view it as a failure because I'm like, man, be tried, you know.
Exactly. And
Lord, I love that.
that's how we gotta do everything. We have to take into consideration that like failure is just learning. It's
It
just
is.
learning. I posted on Facebook. I said, I've been married 2 times, and I'm gonna get married 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times if I had to. And guy asked me, he was like, "Listen, so do you plan on getting married again?" I said, "Yeah." Like, why wouldn't I? In my head, and he was like, "Well, sometimes people, I said, "Listen, if you got on a bike and you rode that bike and you fell, what would you do? You gonna cry about it? You gonna like kick the bike and just leave the bike in the middle of the street, or are you gonna
Nope.
dust your knees off, your shoulders off, get back on that bike
Get
and
back
keep
on.
rolling?" That's what it is. Okay, when I come across this street, I need to be careful for whatever was on the road, or I need to not be on the curb. You supposed to learn. We don't take
Mhm.
losses, we take lessons. And if you can get in that
Exactly.
mindset that everything is a lesson that's going to make me better, that's when we can be able to be like, oh no, I'm gonna try something
Mhm.
and let it do what it do.
Yep. And also you can take that, and if there's a lot of pain associated with it, Joel Osteen had a sermon one time, and I thought it was really good. And he said,
Mm,
"Don't waste the pain." And
mm,
I actually agree with that because if you take that energy and put it towards any project, whether it's a home improvement project, working on your resume,
mhm.
any business idea, it will get done because you have a lot of energy at that time. So do not waste any pain. And yeah, so whatever type of heartache, if you fall off on something, just try something else because now you know how to do it better next time.
Indeed, that was a great point. A great point.
Yeah, I'm actually glad you brought up the dating, your dating show because that That's actually something that a lot of business owners don't realize they may experience. Something just may not work and you have to move on. And it's funny because you may actually go back in that same arena, but come up with a much better idea. So it wouldn't be a failure. You just actually figured out the way that actually works for you.
That's so true. And another thing, some is like you got people. Sometimes all of your people resources don't line up. Sometimes your idea could be ahead of technology, right? But like even with the body contouring, when I did my studio and I did it as a standalone, COVID changed the game for so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before COVID, you had to be in this like amazing big supersized storefront salon that you had to do so much to compete with. I think small businesses really felt like they had to emulate big businesses in order to get money as a small
Mm-hmm.
business. But I feel
Mm-hmm.
like COVID really kind of discerned and like just separated so many different things to say, listen, in this world, even the Uber drivers, like, right, everybody who is an independent contractor, y'all all are businesses. You
Mm-hmm.
got a business. It's a side business, it's a business in your garage, it's a business in your car. You are all business. So I feel like it legitimized business by any person, if they were individual, if they was a big business, everything kind of leveled to say, whatever service, whatever problems you can solve,
Mm-hmm.
whoever can deliver with the best price at the right time to the right
Mm-hmm.
person is going to win. And
Mm-hmm.
that changed the game. And I think that's something that we really should be mindful of because we talked before. Oftentimes, we are so busy trying to compete from a marketing perspective, particularly social media and the money that we will throw to things that we can't really identify what the ROI is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, the proof is in your performance. Start small, make those things happen, get your testimonials, have people talking and buzzing about your product because word of mouth in so many ways trumps, right? The return on investment that you're going to get for social media ads or this and that. And not dispelling it, but I'm just simply saying until you are recognized already, someone
Mm-hmm.
knows you and likes you and trusts you. Sometimes doing that, like in between time, I call it in the wilderness phase. You could be throwing money just to be throwing money because you feel like you need to because everybody else and their mother are doing that. But get yourself known. Let people know. Like let people
Mm-hmm.
know who you are. Like get out there. Hustle.
Mm-hmm. I agree, and it's because I went through that process to be where I am today. So it was just a matter of working with people, and then someone else knew someone else who needed help, and someone else knew someone else, and it grew from there. And I stepped
Mhm.
into other industries and things, and I can say I've learned so much. And luckily for me, I stepped into. I was, in a space that when COVID hit, it became something that people really needed.
Mhm.
So it was, so for me, timing was also good as well, even though I had started everything before, but it just
Mhm.
became more important.
That's how I go. Timing. Woo. You just never know.
Right.
Good idea, wrong time, you know?
And
And
that can
sometimes you just
happen.
gotta wait for it to circle back and just be prepared to like hit the ground running. But we're gonna be all
Hmm.
right.
Right. So actually, I really like this. I think that if people were to follow the steps that we outlined,
Mhm.
it would really help them to be able to be more confident, even just tonight before they go to bed. I would say take time and write down 3 to 5 goals of what you want to see yourself accomplish or do or be in the future. And then from there, you can start deciding who you are. You can help work on creating your brand, then you can think about your past accomplishments, and then you can start working on content. And like Kay is saying, don't spend all your money in the beginning. Just make sure that as you grow, then your business grows. And it's okay to rebrand. Just know that it's okay. You can start out one way, make some money, then you rebrand. It is a-okay because I'm ready to rebrand now.
I feel you. That is so true. I'm doing some things myself and but it comes to clarity. Once you
Yeah.
get clear, this is a working out phase. You're trying to figure this thing and fly the plane as you're building it in so many ways. But once you get that clarity, I just feel like it's just like everything else. You can be laser focused because you know where you're going, you know what you're doing. You kind of have a sense of like, this is who I am. But definitely recognize that it is a birthing process. Don't be upset with yourself if you don't nail it on the first try. We try to do that, but sometimes you just gotta like get out there, do it, and then let the customers give you some feedback on your brand. And in that way, you can kind of shape it and mold it and ensure that what you want your customers to think is what you have or trying to create as a reputation. So you're not gonna nail it. Like I think some people should just say, be like, listen, your logo's gonna look like crap. It's gonna be all right, but it ain't gonna be your best. Every time you look at it, it's gonna be like, gosh, I should have did the. Don't keep spending. Look, stick with what you got.
Yes.
Ride it out. Focus on the execution. Focus on getting people to know you. Focus on delivering results. Focus on the product. You can come back to all that other stuff. Did you see Kia's new logo?
No.
Oh, now they had a crappy logo. That thing was the worst. But
I didn't like it either.
their new logo is top notch. I'm not gonna like on the vehicles
Really?
and stuff. It's top notch. But like, what if Kia just like,
I want
what
to
if
see it.
iPhone decided they was gonna wait before they debugged that whole daggone phone until they delivered it to the market? If iPhone that everybody loves so much can deliver a product that's bugged up, okay?
That has issues.
That has issues. This
Yeah.
daggone product has issues. If iPhone can give you a product that has issues and keep sending you updates throughout the life of your phone, you can do the same thing. I mean, with
Right.
Apple.
Right. Because that's the biggest thing. The biggest thing is really just getting started. And what people tend to be more caught up on their logo and having their social media even out there as opposed to having a portfolio of work. You need a body of work to actually continue. And that way, let that pay for your new logo. It is okay. You can start out with one thing, but that's definitely a much better route to go.
Yeah. And they gotta like you. Like my last closing thing, I'm thinking this is where we're coming to an end. I know we walk around with this mantra like if someone doesn't like me, they don't listen. Okay, I got you. In your personal life, that sounds really good. But when it comes to business, you want to deliver something to your customer that's going to solve their problem, to help them be better, elevate their life. You don't need them to love you, right? But you do want them to like you and trust you, because once they are able to like and trust you, then they are going to say, I want to buy from her. That's how that goes. Or I want to buy from him. Being dismissive of your clients. I see sometimes on social media, people post things about their clients getting on their nerves. My prices is going up. It's
That's a
so
no-go.
disrespectful to your customer. I just want,
I
flag
do not
on
like
the
that at
field.
all.
Flag on the field. It's so disrespectful to the customer. And it's just like, who do you think you are? Like you want people to give you money, but you want to talk to them or talk about them like crap. And I just really believe people have to clean that part up. You want to support and give your customer the services that they need that's going to solve their problems, make them better, elevate their life in some sort of way. Focus on that. And if you're able to focus on that and be the best in that area, they're going to come to you all the time like you giving them credit. Bottom line, they're going to come because you make them feel good and they like talking to you and they like your service and you give them quality. That's how you get your customers, period. I don't care if you got a logo or not. That's how you get your customers.
Yes, let me tell you, there have been times where when I see people ranting on social media about, people that don't understand their business or their prices and all these other things, sometimes I'll send a private message and just say, hey, they're not your target audience.
They're not your target audience.
Simple as that. Like, it's really not difficult.
Yeah. Summer, you might need to get a shirt. You might need to get some paraphernalia, some merchandising around that, because that's a really good concept.
Yeah.
They're not your target audience. You know what I'm saying?
I might need to do that because I have, trust me, I've sent messages. I don't say nothing else. They be like, you know what, you're right. You're right.
What are you tripping off of? Why are you
Why are you mad? You know, I'm like, is that who you want to work with? Do they represent the type of clientele that you want? And when they say, well, no, then what is the problem? You created a problem for yourself that actually does not exist at all. So yes, I'm on the same page with you because I do reputation management as well. And that's part of the reason why sometimes you'd be like, well, let me say a little note, because at some point, if their business starts to hurt, then they're going to have to hire somebody like me. And let me offer a freebie.
Got you. Yeah, yes. you might need to offer that service to people who are not business owners, because you know reputation is everything. It definitely precedes you, and some people need some transformations on their reputation. But it's like everything. Everything. You are the brand. It's the logo and all the other stuff, but that just kind of like symbolizes you. But you are the brand, and if you are a good person who does good work, then you're going to get rewarded accordingly. If you are a bad person that does good work, you may get some customers and you'll get some clout because you be the loudest person in the room, and that's great. If it works for you, because sometimes being loud and obnoxious and it works for the brand. If that is your
brand, it doesn't hurt some people, then it is perfectly fine.
If it's your brand and what you want to put out into the world,
and consistent.
Be consistent and do the thing, but even Gary Vee, who some people consider obnoxious and all those other things, he's very humble and he's compassionate and he really wants to help people. So you got to have a balance of being a jerk. You know what I'm saying? With like, I might make some sarcastic comments, but I also operate in a way that it's helping you get very clear of who you are going to be in the world, and just let everything line up. That's all.
I completely agree. And so I want to bring it up really quick. What we were saying is that in order for you to build your confidence, you're going to start from the end, decide who you want to be, what that looks like. And the first step would be to help determine your brand. Then you're going to think about your past accomplishments. And lastly, you're going to actually create content that you feel your audience would like to hear from you. And you will grow from there. So it won't be perfect, but practice makes perfect. So you keep it up, then you guys will be golden. And Kay, I'd like to thank you for joining me this evening.
Thank you.
Yes, it was awesome. And you guys, thanks for joining. I will see you next time.